Yeah. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Have you ever had that friend that just, no matter what, man, you all just, through it all, you feel that this individual would always be your friend? Yeah, you all may have had skirmishes. You all may have had your ups and downs and your arguments, and sometimes it even comes to fisticuffs. But at the end of the day, it's still your partner. Now, before I get into today's story, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a story or video or what have you, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you view or listen to this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you like your 8, 10, 12, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. I'm going to take you all down memory lane with me, if you will. Take you on a stroll. I had a partner, real good partner of mine, man. We've been cool since childhood. Stanley. Stanley was my dog, man. I'm talking about, man, this dude, man, we done been in battles together. We done fought, man. We done, not actually each other, but we done fought against other individuals, man. We never really had too many issues. Yeah, we may have, little small arguments and things of that nature, but we never really fell out. In one particular situation, I had started a ice cream business. Now, when I say ice cream business, I had 2 ice cream trucks. I had these ice cream trucks. This was in the late 90s. I want to say 99, 2000, right around in there. I was playing with a little money. Bought 2 vans, what have you, turned them into ice cream trucks. We were out delivering ice cream, selling ice cream one day. Little kids in the neighborhood, they see the ice cream man and, they run and, one of those. So we meet these 2 females. And, they came outside or what have you, buy the kids some ice cream. And, we get to talking to them, and they were nice looking females. I'm talking about both of them. They was nice. And so I get their number, or they get our numbers. It's one of the 2. And they end up calling us maybe a few hours later. Why don't y'all come over tonight? It's cool. Actually, let me take that back, because it wasn't at night. They were like, why don't you all stop over? It was still daytime. Like, cool, man. So we go by, just to chill. Nothing, no expectations, if you will. We just, we stopped by. We were still in the area. And as I mentioned, man, especially the one that liked me, or the one that I was talking to, oh, man, she was the truth. You heard me? You ever meet that woman, or, ladies, that man, and you just like, man. It was one of those type of situations. And so we're sitting in the house, and my partner Stanley, he's like, man, if I use your restroom? So the young lady that he's, she, no problem, it's upstairs. So we had to go upstairs and use the restroom. So, I'm sitting downstairs, and we're just all talking, just talking, really. Just kicking it. Kind of getting to know each other, if you will. 5 minutes goes past. Nobody really said anything. But I'm thinking in my mind, like, hey, what's taking Stanley so long? Maybe he's upstairs on his phone. He probably done, that's back when you had the Nokia phones. Maybe he's upstairs on his phone. I'm sure you all know what I'm speaking of when I say the Nokia phones, the free after 7 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock, and free on the weekends. Yeah, those type phones. Better not call nobody before 7 p.m. or 9 p.m., depending on whichever plan that you had. You gonna straight get cussed out. So it'd been like 5 minutes, and I'm like, man, what's my partner at, man? Another 5 minutes goes past. It's about 10 minutes. I don't know what's going on. So the young ladies there, is your partner okay? He's been up here for a while. I don't know. probably another 15 minutes or another 5 minutes. So now it's been about 15 minutes. So I'm calling his phone. Hey, bro, what's going on, man? You all right? Yeah, man, I had a little problem. I said, what's going on? Bro, the toilet is stopped up. I'm like, what? Yeah, man, the toilet is stopped up, dog, and I don't see no plunger or nothing. He's like, dog, it done overflowed on the floor, dog. And I'm like, oh, my God. I don't know what to say. He's embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. And it's just one of those things to where eventually we had to let her know, like, we need a mop, we need, a plunger or what have you. This dude done dropped a couple loads in this girl's toilet. We didn't even know them. We didn't even know them. We had just met them a couple hours prior to them inviting us over. And not only did he drop a couple loads, the toilet had overflowed. And it was all over the floor. Oh, my goodness, man. That was one messy situation, no pun intended. I actually had to tell her what was going on because he couldn't come out and tell her. Get a plunger. Luckily, she had a plunger, mop, and he had to clean it up. And needless to say, she never, ever spoke to me ever again. Never again did I hear from her. It was just the type of situations that, now, it was a unique situation. That didn't happen on a regular basis. But that was just one of the many instances I can think of on the top of my head when it came to Stanley, man. I was mad at Stanley for about a week. I ain't speak to him for a whole week. He calls me one day. Hey, bro, I know you mad at me, man, but I really need to make some money. Can I take the truck out? One of the trucks. I keep calling them trucks, but they were actually vans. But we'll just go with trucks. Ice cream trucks. Can I take one of the trucks out, man? I'm like, yeah. Go ahead. Because I was upset with him, but I wasn't upset with him like that. You got to go. But, dang, man, we could have left and went to the store or anything. You going to go do that in these girls' house? He was like, hey, man, I had to go, man. So I say, yeah, man, you can take one of them out. I'll take the other one out. That way we got 2 trucks on the road. That's more money. Basically, the way that works, whenever you see an ice cream man or someone delivering ice cream, whatever they sell, they get a certain percentage of at the end of the day. So if you sell $300 worth of ice cream, I think the percentage at that time was like 27%. Then you're going to get, what is that, $75, $81. It's 27% of $300. And that's just typically how it works. I pay the gas and expenses and things of that nature. And so he takes the truck out, and he's taking the truck out every day. He's making his money. Everything's cool. We back cool again. Like I said, we didn't really fall out as far as, being in a actual situation where we were mad at each other. But, everything's back to normal. And he's taking the truck out probably about 2 weeks. I get a call. Hello. You have a collect call from, man, it's me, man. An inmate at the Fayette County Detention Center. What? If you wish to accept this call, press 1 or whatever that you press to accept the call. Hello? What's up, bro? I'm like, man, what's going on, Stanley? Yeah, man, they got me, man. What do you mean they got you? Who got you? What is going on? He done got pulled over by the police because there was when you have an ice cream truck, you have to take certain safety measures, if you will. I wasn't familiar with that. There's a sign that you're supposed to have on the side of your truck, like when you're, the stop sign that comes out a school bus, like when you're behind a school bus, you're required to have one of those on the side, and I didn't know. Yeah, I started the business, but I don't think I did my due diligence. I just went and bought all the stuff for the truck and got insured and bonded and things of that nature, licensed. But I didn't take all the safety precautions. I didn't know. I was young. I was, a little impatient. But nevertheless, police had pulled him over. When the police pulled him over, allegedly, they smelled weed in the car. In the truck, rather. which gave them automatic probable cause. I am in a Commonwealth state. I'm in Kentucky. Y'all let me know where you chiming in from. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. And so, being that they had probable cause, they searched the truck. When they searched the truck, they found about an ounce and a half of marijuana. Now, I know most people saying, okay, what's the big deal? Keep in mind, this was probably 2000 at this point, and we're in a Commonwealth state. Marijuana's still not legal here, but what really made it bad was it was bagged up. It was all bagged up in one big bag. So they had like a whole bunch of individual bags wrapped up in one bag. Trafficking. A simple possession that probably would have been just a citation at worst turned into a trafficking charge. Because this marijuana, even though it was a small amount, as I mentioned, everything was individually bagged up. He gets taken to the county jail. $25,000 bond right off top. We don't have any bail bondsmen in Kentucky. We don't have automatic 10%. Automatic 10%. Basically, it's what it says, automatic 10%. So in other states, if your bond's $25,000, it's automatically $2,500 is what you pay. Not in the Commonwealth. You have to get you an attorney, and your attorney's going to come to court for you and hope to get your bond, reduced to 10% or less. That may take, it may be the next day. If the next day's not a weekend, could take a week, could take a few months. Just depends on the judge and your criminal record. Yeah, the Commonwealth, man, it's tough. So if you're doing dirt, stop doing dirt. But if you just insist on doing dirt, you better not be doing it in a Commonwealth state. I'm going to tell you that much. And so he's in jail. He's telling me. So now I'm like, oh my God. Now he can only talk so much on the phone. It's a jail phone. They monitor. When they say this call is being monitored, your little whispering and your little codes that you use, man, they hear all of that and they understand all of that. I'm like, man, my man done got knocked off. Now, he know I got a little bit of money, but 25 G's is, Now my truck is in impound. Then I have to go get the truck, so I have to call down there and find out where my truck's at. Excuse me. They didn't just take it to the regular towing lot. No, they took it to the police impound. To where they had to, do further investigation and search it more and make sure. So I'm like, oh my goodness. They keep my truck for like 4 or 5 days. Again, over some marijuana. So I have to pay to get the truck out. Now, I didn't have to pay like per day because it wasn't in a regular impound, but still had to pay the initial tow fee. So I get the truck out. I go and get the truck out, rather. Well, now I start to get questioned. The police, impound. I start to get questioned. I got to show all type of paperwork or what have you. When in the meanwhile, Stanley's going back and forth to court. He hasn't gotten out of jail yet. Judge didn't reduce his bond. And I don't really understand it because Stanley didn't really have that bad of a record. Matter of fact, I don't even believe he had a record at that time. He's going back and forth to court. He's telling his attorney, hey, this ain't mine. I don't know whose is it. I was just driving, man. This is not mine. It didn't belong to me. I didn't know that it was there. So I'm looking at this situation and I'm like, man, so if you're saying that it's not yours, then I hope they don't try to come back for me and make it seem as though it was mine, because it honestly wasn't mine. And so he's going through the whole motion or what have you, and he finally makes bond. He gets out. So we're getting to talk or whatever we're talking about, how we're going to handle the case. And I'm going to help him as much as I possibly can, but I'm not going to get myself thrown into the fray. I'm not going to get myself mixed up into a state investigation. The next thing you know, I'm being charged. Mind you, I never had any felonies or never been locked up or anything at this particular point. So he's going back and forth. The court process is taking months or what have you. They're offering him a plea deal, I think 5 years. He's facing 5 to 10. They're offering him a plea deal. Yeah, 5 to 10 for an ounce and a half of marijuana. They offer him like 5 years. He's like, man, I'm not taking no plea deal. I think I'm going to go to trial with this. Bro, you might want to be careful, man. You can get up to 10 years. Bro, they can't prove that was mine. Even though I was driving, it wasn't my truck. I'm just working. Lawyer contacts me. They want to call me. They want to call me as a witness. But the problem is the Commonwealth was able to override that because the Commonwealth wanted to call me on their behalf. The Commonwealth wanted to call me on their behalf to essentially go against my dude Stanley by saying, hey, this is not mine. This wasn't mine. And so I know that they're going to try to put me in the trick bag on the stands. Was there anyone else in the vehicle? When you got out of the vehicle, was this there? I understand that they're going to try to put me in a trick bag, but you can't put me in a trick bag. So I'm like, okay. I'm trying to avoid the whole situation. They're trying to serve me the subpoena or what have you. I'm dodging them. I'm not even nowhere to be found. They catch me slipping one day. They serve me the paperwork. Now they want me to come to the trial. Initially, I'm just going to plead the fifth, man. I don't know what y'all... The fifth, man. Every question that they ask me is going to be the fifth. Had absolutely no dog in this fight whatsoever. But then I got to thinking, I was like, well, shoot. I do sometimes pick up people. Because I was starting another business, like my lawn care business and things like that, because it was summertime. I do pick up people sometimes to, pass out flyers and help me get my business, really out there like that as far as, the services that I offer. Anybody could have left that there. Anybody could have been in the truck and that I was giving a ride to that day and left it there. And so once we kind of came up with this, it was the truth now. It was the truth. I would never perjure myself. So his trial starts. They actually take it as trial. They offer him, I think they ended up coming all the way down to like a year. He wasn't taking any time. They called me to the stands. Now, typically, I would never, ever, ever get on the stands. But in this particular situation, it was to solely help my partner, Stanley. Exactly what I just said to you all. I pick up other people from time to time. They help me, with the flyers. It's been several people in that truck. It could have been anyone's. It couldn't, I never known him to use marijuana. I never known him to sell marijuana. I never known him to do anything. He's a good guy. Went to college, graduated, played sports. All of these things. Jury wasn't buying it. Came back with a guilty verdict. Guilty verdict, recommended sentence 3 years. They take him into custody right then and there. He's devastated. I'm shocked. His family, they're in the courtroom. The mother, she's crying. The brothers, he has a brother, Big Marlin. We're going to talk about Big Marlin. Everybody's shocked. We can't believe that this actually happened. Like, how could they possibly find this man guilty? As I mentioned, they take him into custody. You got like 30 days, then you come back for final sentencing to see if they're going to give you probation or if they're going to go ahead and send you on to prison. We come back in about 30 days. They give him the 3-year sentence. But the thing about it, they didn't even give him probation. They sent him up the river, man. He gets sent off to prison. Once again, the mother, she's crying. Everybody's all upset. A few weeks go past. Him and I, we're still in contact. I'm sending him money, putting money on his books, things of that nature. Well, I started to hear quiet whispers of the family is mad at me. Mad at me? Why would you all possibly be mad at me? What did I do? I didn't even have anything. I didn't do anything but try to help the situation. He's convinced his mother that really wasn't his. So the family is kind of looking at it as though I was the one that left that in the truck. I had gotten their son 3 years in the penitentiary. So I called and I was trying to speak with them and, And I never really got a direct answer, but you could just tell that things just wasn't the same. You could tell that there was some type of friction, that they felt some type of way about me. I'm like, wow. An individual that's trying to help. Now it seems as though I'm the bad guy. That's what you get sometimes when you're trying to help people. I started noticing that Stanley and our calls he wasn't calling as frequent. Out of that 3-year sentence, I believe he ended up doing like a year and a half, and then he came home. He came home, never really heard from him. When I did see him, it was just very, very, the conversation was just very, very limited. Hey, what's up, man? We acted as though he was happy to see me and things of that nature, but the conversation was very kind of, generic in a sense, and it was just limited. And so my motto is this, man. If you don't F with me, then guess what? I don't F with you. I seen that, obviously, this dude has a problem with me just as well. I don't know if he's believing his own lies. I don't know what the issue is, but obviously I'm not hearing from him. That was my dog, my ace boom coon. Stick up the world, split it 50-50. Now all of a sudden I'm not hearing from him. Off of your actions, what you did, I didn't have anything to do with that. Nothing. Again, I tried everything that I could do to possibly help you. Some years that passed by, I ended up catching a case. My first time ever going to prison, actually it wasn't some years that passed by. I actually went to prison, I think, in 2001, 2002, right around in there. So it may have been a little earlier than 2000, now that I really think about it. But it was somewhere right around in there, in that range. I go to prison. When I go to prison, they end up sending me, eventually, I got on the same prison yard as his little brother. His little brother was Big Marlin. Now, Stanley was probably about 5'9", 215, 220, lifted weights, man. Semi-dark skinned dude, had a bald head. The women loved him. They used to call him Tupac, man. People said that he looked like Tupac. Women loved him or what have you. That was pretty much what Stanley looked like. Now his brother Big Marlin, his younger brother Big Marlin, he was a gorilla, man. And especially once he got to prison and started hitting him weights, but he was already a nice-sized dude. Before he went to prison, he was he had to weight about 220, 225. Athletic, had always played sports. He was dark-skinned. Him and his brother kind of, resembled each other. He had that Tupac look, bald head. Probably about 5'11". I'd say he wasn't that tall, about 5'11", 6 foot. I'd say closer to 5'11" and 6 foot. So he was, a couple inches, few inches taller than his big brother. I'm on the prison yard. We're on the same prison yard. Well, Big Marlin was one of those guys to where he ran with the gangs in prison. I don't know if he was in a gang outside of prison, but I know he definitely ran with the gangs on the inside of prison. He was affiliated. He was well respected on the yard. He was known for being kind of crazy a little bit, sandwich short of a picnic. Didn't have it all. Now I know that I grew up with the guy. I knew that it was just kind of an image that he portrayed. Not to say that he's soft or anything of that magnitude. But he loved to, just put his hands on women and intimidate and scare women and things of that nature. But he would fight a dude, though. Don't get it twisted. And so now I'm on the yard, and he's acting kind of funny towards me. Now, even though we grew up together, we didn't grow up together like as far as being close, but, we always play sports. All of us play sports. And he just acted kind of funny. We're about 2.5 years apart, something like that. So he always acted like kind of funny on the prison yard. One day we on the basketball court. One of the things that I always talk about in prison that's a cardinal sin to stay away from: the poker table, the basketball court, dudes, significant others, if you will. You don't tell on nobody. You don't steal from nobody. You see no evil. You hear no evil. You mind your business. I was on that basketball court. I'm young. I'm full of energy. I'm I'm hitting the weight, pal. We on the basketball court one day. I end up fouling Big Marlin. Being that Big Marlin somewhat already had a problem with me anyway, he says something, I say something. He's always had a bad temper. He was always quick to fly off the handle. You don't want this, bruh. You don't want this. He's going through that. I really don't want it. I don't want to get in no trouble. I don't want to catch no write-ups. I don't want to, because all of these things, I'm trying to make parole and go home. But at the same time, you do got to stand up for yourself. Well, I got people that's, from my city. He got people, we from the same city or whatever. They kind of intervene and, break it up or whatever. I don't back down. He's the aggressor, so he's definitely not backing down. That's called falling out. Yeah, we fell out. Yeah, we fell out. So from that point on, we didn't really say much to each other. But then you start to hear the quiet whispers once again. Big Marlin was telling people that I got his brother caught up and his brother ended up having to serve time because of me and starting all over again. Heard it on the streets, now I'm hearing it in prison. Man, I don't know what dude's talking about, man. I ain't get his brother caught up, man. I ain't got nothing to do with, because people want to know. One word leads to the next. My big dog calls me one day. He calls me down to his cell. Let me holler at you, bro. I said, yeah, what's up? Man, they came and got at me. Big Marlin and them people came and got at me. I'm like, his people? Well, yeah, Big Marlin was there too, but he had his peoples or whatever. I'm like, what's going on? He wants to see you. He wants to see me. What? What do you mean he won't fight, man? He's asking for you. He wants to shoot the fair one, man. I'm like, man, I ain't got no problem with Big Marlin, man. Bro, he wants to see you, man. Now, we going to be there. We going to make sure that, nobody jumps you if it gets too bad. If he's getting out on you or whatever, you fall to the ground, he ain't going to be able to get in and stomp your face down. Not to say you're going to lose or anything. I'm just saying if in the event that happens, we're going to make sure. But he's asking for you, bro. Damn. Well, if he's asking for me, I guess, shoot, I ain't got no issue with him, man. Maybe we can talk it out. Or bro, I ain't trying to talk. He wants you, man. Damn, man, I got to fight this bit. Now, at this particular time, dude had been really, really putting in some work in that weight pal. He was already a nice-ass dude, pause, before he even went into the penitentiary, as I had already mentioned. But now he's on that weight pal, 5-6 days a week, probably 6 days a week, 2-3 times a day. Back then, you didn't have to have a job in prison. This dude's a gorilla, man. He got to be weighing in at this point. Got to be a good 240, 250. Here I am. I ain't weighing nothing but like 200 pounds, 205 maybe, 210. But he asked for me. If I turn it down, then guess what? A lot of other people going to probably, oh man, he ain't want to see dude, man. You see what I'm saying? So now I didn't want to get that reputation on the yard of being afraid, which I never was afraid. I didn't even have a problem with him. You know how hard it is to fight somebody just because they ask for you? Now, if you just a person that fights all the time, or you in that sport or that profession or what have you, okay, but if you're just an individual, you might get in a fight from time to time, but typically with me, like when I fight, man, I have to be upset. You have to have done something to me. I have to be angry with you. I have to be not just, oh man, he won't fight. Okay, well, yeah, when I was a little kid, yeah, coming up, but now I'm a grown man. But you've called me out amongst other grown men, so I can't. What can I do? They set it up. We go downstairs in the little basement, in the little dungeon area. That's what they call it, the dungeon. There's no cameras down there. Looking back, I can't believe that they had places like that in prison in which they didn't have any. Like, they had cameras, but it was all type of blind spots. They didn't have cameras like in every single room. We go downstairs. He got, a few of his partners with him. I got a few of my partners with me. But the thing about it, we all from the same place, for the most part. Go in the room. Dude takes his shirt off. I see it's serious. It's going to go down. I take my shirt off. Thug it out. You know what I mean? We fight, whatever. I feel like he got the best of me. You know, other people were saying, it was probably about even, it was about a tie, but I feel like he got the best of me. You know what I'm saying? Because he cut me above my eye, so, you know, I couldn't see. Couldn't really see. I had blood coming down my face, but, you know, I got some, you know, I was respected. It was respectful, you know, but I feel like he got me. Broke it up, cleaned myself up or whatever. Officers always going to ask you, you know, whenever you need a, you know, Band-Aid or things of that nature, you know, what happened. And, man, I was in the weight pile, man. The weight fell. You know, you say something like that. I never said anything. Never really was a big deal. It never really got out too much. Yeah, people knew, but, like, it never got back to security. And you ever try to fight, man, when blood is running down your face, man, and your eyes cut, man? You know, I referenced this in my video yesterday. I was talking about whatever story I was talking about. But you know how, like, on the Rocky movie, when his eye was all messed up and Mick, the trainer, I gotta stop the fight, kid. You can't see. He's gonna blindside. He's gonna kill you. No, don't stop the fight, Mick. Cut me, Mick. Cut me. Cut him. Open his eye up so he could see. Cut me, Mick. That's how I feel. Cut me, big dog. Dude hit hard too, man. Big old hands, man. But I was quick, man. I was quick, but, you know, we was in a nice sized room, so, you know, I could maneuver. I could, you know, but he caught me a couple times, but I caught him a couple times too. Busted his lip. He ended up getting out shortly after that. We never really said much to each other after the fact. It was squashed to where we didn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't really saying too much. If he was, I wasn't really hearing it. I see him, he see me, but we just didn't really interact too much. He ended up going home, like I said, shortly after that, and I was still in. I ended up doing like a couple more years. And I came home in 2004. When I came home in 2004, I had a new attitude. I never really had a attitude towards him anyway, or his brother, Stanley. I come home. I say, you know what, man? I'm going to bury the hatchet, man. I'm going to see what my dog's up to, man. I look him up. I'm trying to find out, you know, exactly where he's at or what have you. I get the news that Stanley had passed away. I'm like, what? Stanley passed away? What happened? Apparently he had a heart attack, and from what I was told, that he had kind of started to indulge a little bit. I never knew him to indulge in any sort of, besides smoking weed, I never knew him to indulge in any sort of drugs or things of that nature whatsoever. Remember in 2004, you couldn't just jump on Facebook and find out this information or whatever. I don't even know if there was a Facebook in 2004. It might have been like in the making. They probably had it, but it just wasn't, you know, like it is now, obviously. Probably had MySpace and things of that nature. Black Planet. But nevertheless, I found out that he had passed away, man. I feel bad. Although all this could have been avoided, all of it, I feel as though I got a lot of, actually, I'm going to say 100% unfair blame, if you will. I never had a chance to talk to him. I never had a chance to, you know, just talk to him, you know. I didn't appreciate the narrative that had been put out there. But nevertheless, man, I'm a forgiving individual, man. I may be mad today, but that don't mean I'm going to be mad tomorrow. I'm not really an individual that holds a lot of grudges. It's just not me. It's never been me. I still think about that to this day, like, man, I never got to say goodbye. I never got to, maybe if I was out, maybe he wouldn't have indulged in the things that you know, he decided to be a part of. And maybe it would have. I don't know. You can't really stop an individual from doing whatever they choose to do. But I'm just saying, I never seen that. He never did anything like that around me. I still see his mother from time to time. She's cool. She speaks. Hey, how you doing? Every once in a while, I run into Big Marlin. He's still lifting weights. He's still a gorilla. I done ran into him, I don't know, 5 or 6 times over the year. We cool. We don't have no issues. What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, bro? How you? Yeah, man, like we don't even bring, that doesn't even come up. We're so far past that. But it's just one of those situations. It's sad, man. So I guess the message today would be people that you really, really, love, genuinely care about, and y'all have a problem, try your best to iron it out. And I understand sometimes you may try, and they're just not interested in ironing it out. But at least you knew that you put forth an effort to squash whatever beef, whatever problems that you all had. Because when you lay down, and in the case of Stanley, there was no tomorrow. There was no we'll work on it tomorrow, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow never came for Stanley. Most of the time when you have a problem with someone or they have a problem with you, it's typically something that's petty. It's typically something that could just be, ironed out, talked out. I was wrong, man. I did this. I said that. I apologize. I was upset. I was angry, but there's no excuse. I still should not have done that. I'm working on myself to be better. I'm sorry, man. I was out of line. I apologize. A lot of times that's all that it takes. But oftentimes the stubbornness that we have, I'm not apologizing. I ain't. Nope. I refuse. He wronged me. She wronged me. And you look up 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years have passed, and you all still not speaking over the most minute things. And it could have been ironed out and dealt with a simple conversation. I was mad at Stanley for using the bathroom and dropping them stinky loads in that girl's toilet. Even to this day, I'm still like, come on, Stanley, man. In my mind, come on, Stanley, man. You didn't have to do that in that girl's toilet. But like Stanley told me, man, hey, you gotta go. You gotta go. Hopefully you all like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Shout out to Stanley's family. Shout out to Big Marlin. Rest in peace, Stanley, man. And just everybody that's lost someone, man. Shout out, man. Real Kens TV. Free Jay Williams.